Probably heard of the famous World Game, which is a hacker, apparently. Now, why is he a hacker? I have no idea. But apparently he cuts out his videos and literally is just like hacking, and I'm not sure how he does it. If you guys don't know who World Game is, he's basically a YouTuber that beats Geometry Dash levels blindfolded, which is insanely hard. So let's get into the video.
Most people will recognize World Game from his Geometry Dash with Closed Eyes series, where he completes many of the game's main levels with a blindfold on, garnering him millions of views.
Like you see, I think he's been making YouTube for about like 12 years, and he has never, ever been exposed. Like, he just kept getting away with this and getting millions of views for this, which is insane. Just is so crazy.
Most notably among these videos is his completion of Clubstep Blindfolded, which he claims to have taken 2.1 million attempts and 100 million jumps. If you are knowledgeable...
What? That many attempts on a level? That's actually crazy. No, like, that has to be fake. That'd have to be like the world's most attempts on a Geometry Dash level. So, I'm pretty sure that's already a red flag right there.
About this game whatsoever, you can already tell something strange is happening here. In fact, if these attempts are legit, it would be the highest attempt count for a completion in the game's...
Yeah, it's literally right there. Like, that's literally a red flag immediately that this guy is literally probably hacking.
History. Most people just chalk this up as being attempt lying, believing that the completion itself is still legit. Many people have already gone over this aspect of his completion in the past, so it won't be our main focus here. Instead, we believe this goes much deeper. First of all, I'd like to remind you how hard these achievements actually are. Keep in mind that beating a level with a blindfold on is much harder than beating a level such as Invisible Deadlocked, as you don't have visual cues of your icon and must rely entirely on audio cues and muscle memory. Obviously, it's not impossible, just much more difficult. With that in mind, in addition to the 2.1 million attempts he spent on Clubstep alone, you'd assume his gameplay would be as efficient and consistent as possible, which...
Yeah, like right there, like what he just said. I mean, it is possible, but it is like very hard. Now, like, nobody would really realize, probably everybody would be like, okay, well, this guy's not hacking. He's literally looking away, and
just isn't the case.
He's clicking, so everybody would be like, oh my gosh, this guy's not faking or hacking, until you dive deeper into see what he really is.
His hand movements, or rather lack of, also just seemed a little inhuman, but that will be more important later on. Do keep it in mind. On top of all of this, he has essentially no connection to anyone in the GD community, which doesn't make sense considering how much time he claims to spend playing this game. All this information has led us to believe that this is much more than just attempt lying, so we decided to take a deeper look at what's actually happening here. One of our main issues with uncovering anything about what was going on here was figuring out what method he could be using to cheat. Due to his limited online presence and there being no live or raw footage of any of his completions, there isn't much to go off of. There were some possible theories presented by a few commenters that actually accused him of cheating, such as a second monitor being out of view from the camera, a fake blindfold, or someone else controlling the game.
Somebody else controlling the game, that's probably what he's doing. Honestly, I kind of think that's what he's doing. Like, having somebody else, like a green screen person that's like a pro, is clicking, and he pretends to be like blindfolded and clicking the mouse, but it's really like his friend or something. Like, that's probably what's happening. That's what I believe.
And those people that don't believe me in my video, because I received so many comments that something like, oh, but there is a person in your room that's pressing the mouse button instead of you, your mouse is not plugged in your computer, or your blindfold, there is a hole in your blindfold so you can see through this.
However, none of these are the conclusion that we have come to. We believe that he may be using a method known as masking.
What is
In
that?
short, masking is what video editors name the process of putting one video on top of another and cropping out a specific section to reveal the video or image that is underneath.
For example, I could
Oh, okay, that's probably what he's doing. I'm 100% that's what he's doing. There's no way that he's not doing that.
take these two clips from his club step video, one from the intro before he even touches his mouse and one from the middle of the completion. We can then mask a screen out of the intro, revealing the gameplay from the other clip. Doing this with the hand gets a lot more complicated, and that's why we believe his lack of movements is very suspicious, especially considering he generally never takes his hand off of his mouse after the completion.
We know for a fact that World Game would know how to do this, considering his various impressive VFX videos he makes for his GD in Real Life series. The following steps.
Wow, that is actually really good. Some really good editing. Yeah, so that's probably what he's doing. If he can do like this, then that is probably what he's doing.
This is how we believe World Game uses masking to fake his completions. First, he records himself putting a blindfold on and then sits there repeatedly dying to the beginning of the level, keeping his right hand as still as possible. He then records himself completing the level legitimately without the blindfold on. Next, he puts the first video on top of the second video, cropping out his hand and screen from the first video, allowing us to see his hand and completion from the second video. Put more concisely, he is using masking to put his blindfolded self over his non-blindfolded self to make the completion seem legitimate. We have a large amount of evidence spanning multiple of his videos that backs up this claim. I think the easiest way to go through all of this is by pointing out some of the major indicators of masking and showing which videos they appear in. Let's first start with what is most definitely the worst of this. In all of his videos before Theory of Everything, he has a monitor that isn't exactly the greatest for hiding masking. This is most obvious in Stereo Madness, Back on Track, Polargeist, Base After Base, and Jumper, where you can see the starting color of the level on the edges of his screen, and in the
Yo, wait, what the heck? You actually can. Like right here, if you guys can't see. Right there, you can see what looks to be the attempts. That's what it looks to be. Which is actually pretty bad.
worst cases, you can
And like how has nobody realized this? And he's been making videos for like 12 years. That's my question.
even see the attempts passing by as he repeatedly dies.
Yeah.
In addition to this, in a lot of the videos where this isn't visible, there seems to be some inconsistencies in the reflections on the edges of his monitor, implying that he just increased the size of the mask by a little bit. Unfortunately, once we reach Theory of Everything, he gets a new monitor that would make masking much easier, but there's still many other things that we have noticed. There's a lot of weird things that happen with his right hand in almost all of his videos. Some of the more consistent issues are his hand morphing into another hand at the beginning of an attempt. A visible line
I did not see that. Wait, what?
happen with his right hand in almost all of his videos. Some of the more consistent issues are his hand morphing into another hand at the beginning of an attempt. A
I
visible
don't
line
see
where
it.
the
Tell me
mask
if you
cuts
guys
off
see it
on
in
his
the
wrist or
comments.
other parts of his room. And his hand completely changing positions when covered by his other hand in an attempt to hide the removal of the mask. There are also a few instances of his left hand getting chopped off by poor masking when he is waving it around in front of the other one.
It is also worth noting that when we see this happen in Finger Dash, these two frames are exactly the same except for his finger being cut by the mask, his right
Like, my question is, how did nobody realize this for 12 years? Like, this is actually wild.
hand still having slight movement and the gameplay continues as normal. This is bad because it shows that these two parts of the footage are separate.
Another thing of note is the complete lack of movement in his right hand or arm for the entire video after he starts the attempt, as this makes masking much easier. Now let's see what we can find when we apply this information to his most impressive completion, Club Step Blindfolded. To start off, this is one of the many completions where we can see part of his hand, or more particularly in this instance his finger, morph into another finger right before his completion attempt. In addition to this, there are multiple points throughout the attempt where his finger gets cut off at the edge of the mask. Moving on to when he actually beats the
yeah,
level,
you can
he actually
kinda see
does
that.
move his arm a lot, with this being his only big reaction from any of his completions. However, he moves it so quickly that it would be extremely easy to turn off the mask convincingly as soon as it starts to move. With all of this in mind, I believe it is safe to say that Blindfolded Club Step, along with all of World Game's other
Yeah, and like, that'd be so hard to complete club step blindfolded. Like, I don't know how you would do that. I mean, it's it's probably possible, but that's like you have to rely on the audio at that point. Like Stereo Madness would of course be really easy. Like, I mean, probably. I can't really say anything because I've never tried it, but yeah, club step blindfolded would be just insanely hard. Like, how would he do that?
Blindfolded completions are illegitimate. To recap, we have definite evidence that many of World Game's earlier completions are cheated, in addition to a lot of corroborating evidence that his later achievements are also cheated. It is always upsetting when someone is able to cheat their way into getting millions of views and high praise from the community, so it is our hope that this video can stop another instance of that. If this video somehow reaches World Game, we'd be willing to hear him out in case of a response that somehow
Yeah, like what would he say like about this? Would he say like, "Oh no, I'm not cheating, or would he like admit the fact that he's cheating?
explains what is actually happening here. We hope that this video could also reach some people in the VFX space that are much more qualified to talk about this subject than ourselves. Anyways, that's all from us. Thanks for watching.
So, like, that's kind of crazy that like this guy he was able to do this for years, just so many years, and he didn't get caught. Like that's crazy. Oh, there's some more. Here we go. Oh, okay. Did you guys notice that? Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Did you guys hear that? That's crazy.
Hi everybody, I'm Wargame and I know it's a long time that I don't upload a new video on my channel, but it took so many time to complete X step level. It was so hard to complete with Josias. And before starting, this is time to thank everybody for your support, comments, you continue to and those people that don't really my video, I received so many comments that something like, oh, there's a person in your room that's pressing not button, instead of you, or you're not nobody in your computer, or your people, there's a people in your room, so you can see through this. But before starting, I'm sure that actually nobody, here's my room, as you can see, nobody, and actually my mouse is plugged in my computer, because the selector of my mouse is valid. And the vehicle, there is no hole in the piece, so you can see here that there is no hole. But now we can start with step level.
Like to X step blindfolded. That's hard. That's hard.
We are not
So-
capable.
Oops. Okay, so I just want to say, guys, don't like. Man, there's so many people out there that fake their content just to get views. Like, I can't believe the fact that this guy got away. Like, nobody caught him for 12 years. He got millions of views, tricked the internet into thinking. Like, honestly, I feel like if he can be club step blindfolded, like, he's better than Zoink at this point. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to also go check out my main channel, which is CGTM. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. And also, I just want to say I'm very sorry I haven't posted in like 2 months on this channel. I was really busy with a lot of stuff. So yeah, make sure you guys subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.